So you've decided to sell your property. Now you just have to think how you're going to go about doing that. Hey everyone, Mariah Taliaferro with Premier Sotheby's. I specialize in Sarasota real estate. And whether or not you're looking to partner up with an agent on selling your property, I think this video will be helpful for you because it goes through what your options are when it comes to selling your property. So there really are about 4 different ways that you can go about making a sale. One is called a for sale by owner or a FSBO. One is using a real estate agent. Another one is just listing the property on the market, but using an agent part of the time and not part of the time. And another one is using a buyer service program that Zillow, Redfin, and other companies are offering. So let's talk about for sale by owners. There are some pros and there are definitely some cons if you want to self-represent. And what that process would look like is you actually would take your own photos, you would list the property on the marketplace, usually through another third-party service like forsalebyowner.com or other websites like that. You can also put it on Zillow. You manage the entire process from start to finish. The benefits of this, you're saving on commission, right? You're not having to pay a real estate agent to represent you, and you may or may not have to pay real estate commission if the buyer is represented. There are a lot of negatives to this, and I'm not saying this because I'm a real estate agent, but number one, managing the entire process is a lot of work. That's why there is a whole profession and they know what the process is like. You may think that you've thought everything through, but what if something surprising comes up, either on an inspection or something in the purchase and sale agreement comes up? Do you really know your rights? And yes, you can hire an attorney, but not only will that cost you a lot of money, it's going to cost you a lot of time because attorneys right now are so busy managing other real estate transactions. So that's one negative part of it. The other negative part is you're probably going to end up having to pay real estate commissions in one way or another. You're really limiting your buyer pool quite a bit actually, because most buyers are going to turn to the MLS, to ZillowRealtor.com, and they're working with agents. And so you're pretty much eliminating, let's say you eliminate 70% of your buyer pool. Is that going to be reflected in the price you actually get for the property? Absolutely. Similar to being a for sale by owner is getting limited representation. This is where you can get what's called, we call them discount brokers, who will charge you a less commission for essentially less work. And what they're willing to do is they pretty much put the property on the MLS. They might take good photos of it, and then you're kind of on your own. And there are some agents that will do different things based on the commission rate that they offer you. This might work for you, especially if you are maybe you're a lawyer, so you already know the entire contract and you feel confident in that area. Maybe you actually love showing your property and opening the doors to people. So this could be a good option for you, but just know, again, it's not full service. There are limitations. You're not going to necessarily be fully represented in a fiduciary way like you would if you're hiring an agent. And it costs you more time, and time is money these days, but it can actually affect the sales price that you get for your home. So that brings me to full representation, which in my opinion, whether I was in real estate or not, would be the route I'm going to take. I, have a financial advisor. I am not a do-it-yourselfer in that way. So why would I turn my number one asset and largest asset over to someone that's not fully representing me or do it myself? So I would always use an agent, but that's just me. Full representation means that you're getting that agent who is going to work for you, blood, sweat, and tears, the whole 9 yards for you and for that transaction. And you generally, by the stats, you get 30% more in your final price. You have a much better experience. There are a lot less holes that you're going to fall into throughout the process. Any surprises that come up, your agent, if you're working with the right one, is going to know how to handle it. So many benefits to full representation. Now, there are a lot of other programs that are being offered right now where you can self-represent or have very limited representation, and that's being offered through major companies like Zillow, Redfin, other systems like that. And that means you are just a number. You are relying on maybe a chat bot, maybe you'll have a point of contact, but that person doesn't have a vested interest in the ultimate goal, which is to get the highest and best price for your property in the shortest period of time. They also don't have a reputation to really uphold. There's no branding associated with it. So there's a lot of things that go into what motivates a real estate agent to actually perform. And it's more than just money. It's serving our clients. It's building a reputation. It's knowing that we did a good job. Many people are in this profession because they love what they do. And that's why I'm in it. So I want to reiterate, if I were in your position, if I had no real estate experience whatsoever, or maybe I've bought and sold properties, I would not feel comfortable going out there and self-representing or using someone that I know doesn't really have a vested interest in the sale of my property. It's like blind leading the blind, essentially. And you wouldn't want to do that with your most expensive and most valuable asset that you might have. So give that some thought. If you have any comments, other thoughts, post them in the comments below. Really like to know. Thanks so much for tuning in.